Guru, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and Sai Ram to all. On behalf of whole youth team of Goa, I welcome you all to the 11th episode of Sai Yuva Anubhuti, Fragrance of God's Love, talk by Sai Youths of Goa. Today we have with us youth from Pancham Samiti, Sister Smruti Shankar. Smruti is from Tamil Nadu but lived in different parts of our country. Her family has been devoted to Swami for about 4 decades now. Vikas as a kid and had the privilege of attending classes by Maya Auntie and Shilpa Auntie. She did her schooling in Goa and went to pursue her BBM from Swami's University. She is currently based out of Bangalore and employed at Walmart. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Sister Smruti. Over to you.
तुम ही मोरे गिरिधर नागर, तुम ही मोरे घनश्याम, शिरडी के राजा परति निवासा, तुम ही अयोध्या प्यार पाया है तुमसे, इस जीवन को राह मिली. Pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Baba. I'm absolutely grateful for this wonderful opportunity, beautiful experiences in the fold of our most beloved master. As a child, I would always be excited and curious to listen to Swami's stories from my father. Young days when he would visit Parthi, it wasn't those concrete floors, but mostly sand all over. People around, more proximity to Swami, a lot of opportunities to interact with him one-on-one. Imagine how beautiful it must have been back then. I'll always be grateful to my parents for putting me into Bal Vikas classes. I really remember my first class so very well. My sister and I, we arrived at Balvakar's residence, and there I met one of the most loving people I have ever known. She was someone who would radiate unconditional love towards her students. She would teach us bhajans, she would teach us shlokas, and there was so much to learn as a child from her. We were put into those Carnatic music classes and then the Bal Vikas classes. I think we were settling very well into our Indian culture. I was so fond of these classes that I would go home, take a mat, sit with the Bal Vikas books, pretend to be Vikas Guru, reciting shlokas. I would start narrating stories the way Maya Auntie and Shilpa Auntie would do. Years passed, and with every year, more than also just learning the shlokas, I came across some beautiful people from whom there was so much to learn, so many experiences of Swami to listen to. To learning a new bhajan, doing Jyoti meditation, and of course, the mint prasadam that would come at the end of this, in the end of the classes, or the chocolates. And as I grew up, I realized something happened from within. And somewhere it was a big role of these Bal Vikas classes. How much of morals I ended up carrying forward with time. 2003, it was the year that got me introduced to Swami personally at a much closer level than ever. All this while, I would listen to stories, I would listen to people's experience and the interviews that they had with Swami. But this was closer than I could ever believe. And I heard about my uncle getting a gold medal, my father getting a Pad Namaskar, or my family being blessed by Swami in different ways. Never did I have the chance to experience a tad bit of it myself. But 2003 was that year of change. It was the year when I performed with my fellow Balvikas friends, Swami, during Guru Purnima. And that moment when Swami was so close that I was absolutely in a state of bliss and pure joy. I saw Swami so closely. It's the first time I ever got a sari of my own, and I still hold on to it like the greatest gift I ever received. Passed by, I associated myself with a lot of Satya Sai activities that were taking place in Goa. Every Thursday, being a part of Seva activities. It just felt like one of those very, very important in my life. It was one of those experiences that I still like to carry forward. I still like to visit, and I still love to visit children. And it kind of brings out the best out of each one of us, is what I feel, is what we learned in Bal Vikas. Being a part of blood donation camp was one such beginning, and then the Narayan Seva. I still remember I was wanting to pursue my CA, and just before I was moving out of Goa, I would make sure that I attend every Nagar Sankirtan. It would keep me energized the entire day. And I felt these were ways of connecting myself to my own self and experiencing God within myself. Probably from that phase, I started realizing that Swami is within each of us, and we engaging in such things is what brings out the best in each of us. One of those very fond memories of mine from Bal Vikas and the youth classes were teaching the village students. So every Sunday we would go to Kudka, and we used to take classes for some of the children. Really say it was a delight sitting with them. It felt like it was not just we teaching them, but there was so much to learn from them. And then attending the medical camps. All of this, I feel, somewhere made me a better human being. I owe it to everybody I came across in my journey as a Bal Vikas student. As we grew up, we also started learning a lot of Vedas. And to be very honest, this was the beginning of a sense of accomplishment within me. I started feeling that there is something higher that I am going through in my life. I felt amazing when I would attend every class of Veda. And the more I chanted, the more I would feel a different energy level within me. Family has always been very spiritually inclined. Family and my extended family. We would play bhajans every day at home, and we would connect. We would sometimes have bhajan and takshari just sitting together. Our houses would be constantly surrounded by sacred chants, and more often during festivals. So I remember one such incident in 2009 that somewhere changed my life forever. When I was in Mumbai, in my uncle's house, on Feb 7th that year. And I had the privilege of performing Swami's Aarti that evening. Just when the last part of the Aarti was going on, I saw Vibhuti coming out of Swami's photo. And that was the first time when and I really could not express the amount of joy that I had. Somewhere I felt like experiences for me because I had never seen something like that. All this while I would just hear people talking about Kumkum coming out of Swami's photo. And when I saw something like that in front of my own eyes, I was in an absolute state of joy. But somewhere I didn't realize that experience was bringing me a complete shift in my life. I went through 2 rough years in terms of my career. Uh, I was trying, like I said, I was trying to pursue my CA, and somehow it didn't work out. I clearly remember was the first time I got a chance to perform, be a part of the Seva in Puttaparthi. And above that, I would say it was like a bonus opportunity because I got to perform that Seva during Shivratri with my Bal Vikas Guru, my auntie. And till date, if there is something that I really remember very clearly, it was every single day Maya auntie would talk about some beautiful experiences with Swami. She was the one who explained to me the purpose of sitting silently when Swami is coming for darshans, and when the darshans are, what is it that we take? Those little things that she shared with me is something that I still carry with me. And that is where I really started believing in a lot of positive energies around us. Back to the experience of Seva. I remember Brother Pramod reaching out. It was a document that we had to present to Swami about a Seva activity that was done. I had the chance of preparing the first page of the document, which had a few lines which were quite poetic. And I clearly remember that particular day, Swami was there in Purnachandra Hall and Kulwant Hall for almost 2 hours. And it was the most beautiful experience yet again for me, because Swami blessed that document, that Swami was trying to show me a path, that there is something very beautiful coming my way after a failure that I went through. And I was jumping out of joy that day. I still remember. I was really literally jumping out of joy in Parthi. And when I got back, I suddenly had a message from one of the Sai sisters, Nihali. Be grateful to her for the rest of my life. She suddenly reached out to me and mentioned in Swami's college. I had never known much about Anantapur. I have a very clear idea about how student life in Parthi would be. Give this chance. And I would say Anantapur turned my life upside down, 360 degree, changed it in every dimension possible process. So we go through several exams and several interviews. And I felt like Swami blessing that document, me going for Seva that Shivratri, was an indication that I would be joining his institution. And I went through the examinations, and I had zero hopes of clearing it, but I actually did. And when I joined Anantapur in 2011, that was the year when Swami had left his physical form, and it was very difficult for our batch to cope up with that. Every time we would sit for bhajans or any function, we would cry our hearts out. And if I have to be very honest, you would feel very jealous seeing your senior sisters because they had the chance to be so close to Swami, to talk to Swami, So the whole concept of omnipresence was not sinking in for us. But somewhere, and as we heard our seniors talk about how Swami would come to Anantapur, about them singing for Swami, about them performing in front of Swami, it brought in a lot of enthusiasm to participate in modern bhajan singing, to do a lot of namasmarana. It was this very, when I was in Goa, in person, and I imagined that I would experience a life of that sort, where I would say it was life of a monk, living in a Gurukul, having a lifetime experience that I think I would never be able to get again. The schedules pulled us up, and getting up at 5 in the morning, and the lights would be turned off by 10:15 in the night. We had a very, very tight schedule for everything that we would do, and there was a holistic education system that we had. Amongst all these things, that was common, and that was the Swami factor. In every activity that we would do, we would always think of Swami. We would always ask ourselves, so if we do this particular action, how will Swami feel about it? So it was never about treating Swami as God. It was more about treating Swami as a friend. One of those very important lessons that I learned in Anandpur, and that is when I maintained a personal diary where I Swami that, Swami, this is what I did through the day. This is what I faced. Is that my actions are not something that I should have done. I would write to Swami and say, I did something like this. So it just started developing a personal connection with Swami, and we had this system in our campus, something that I would like to suggest to each of you as well. So we would maintain 108 chits and keep it in front of Swami, and they would have 108 messages. And any part of the day when you would really want to seek some answers, when you're in a dilemma about your life, about any situation, take a chit. And believe me, it would liberate you of your problems in no time, because the kind of answers that would come to you, you would be absolutely shocked. You would be really stunned, because it relates to something that you just went through. And that is where I started associating myself even more closely with Swami. We would have bhajan sessions every day in Parthi, in Anandpur. And I had an issue with my singing. I could not sing a high pitch, and I used to be very, very insecure about it. I would look at everybody around, and they would really, sing so gloriously, and I would feel very dejected. I would feel I'm not good enough. I think that was Swami's way of teaching me something of. I had a lot of ego issues, I would say, and somewhere Swami was helping me crush my ego and bring me to a point of moderation in life. So coming back to bhajan singing, there was so much of churning, just like how you say, when you have to, you have to keep carving to have diamond shine. The same way, every day we would have bhajan sessions for about half an hour to 1 hour. And every day we would go sing in front of our warden, mistakes pointed out, and that is where you would start learning. And I cannot believe myself that in that journey of 3 years, my vocals improved so much. I started singing in higher octave. And these are very little things that I'm talking about, but these are things that happen in our everyday life. And somewhere I think it brought about a huge change in me, because I started accepting myself for what I am. I stopped always counting on my flaws and feeling insecure about the things that I really don't have. And we were under very strict supervision of things. Everything that we do was under like a high alert. So you would be always conscious about your actions. And somewhere I feel discipline in me. And this is because I think institution really teaches us a bit of organizing ourselves. It teaches us how to be more disciplined and determined in our thoughts. It's not about being rigid in life. It is about being open, but with a very organized and disciplined sense. And as we would go to Parthi, we would have a lot of seva activities during Dashera, and there were umpteen number of chances to sit and sing in Kulwant Hall, and it was a dream come true for me. I would, as a child, always wish that someday I would be sitting there and singing for Swami. And something that I learned in this again, My bhajan partner and I, every time before the bhajans would begin, we would decide that if we have to sing a certain bhajan, we would create a story in our mind that we're going to sing it. And we would actually start visualizing Swami sitting there, Swami swinging his head, smiling, and enjoying our bhajan. We would go ahead and sing that way. I I really mean it. I would feel Swami's presence in abundance. I did not miss that physical form anymore because I started accepting that Swami is all around us, always guiding us, always listening to us. Just because we are in Swami's fold, it does not mean that we would not be facing obstacles in our life. There are going to be things and people that will really create difficult situations for you. But the moment you think of Swami, the moment you put yourself in that relationship of friendship with Swami, I think all hurdles would be crossed. I would like to narrate one such incident from the recent times that I had. Uh, there were a lot of ups and downs, I would say, in my life at a personal level, and I would always keep blaming myself for things that went wrong, for things that are absolutely not in my control. And I started doing a very small thing. Since I said I associate myself a lot with bhajans. So every morning, I would make it a point to play bhajans in my apartment for at least 10 minutes a day. I would sit and write a letter yet again, something that I had stopped. I would sit and write a letter to Swami, narrating everything that I would feel. I think we are also blessed being in Swami's fold, that if it is inhuman to scream at people, to laugh at people, or to have any sort of a conversation, I think Swami is one person, beautiful source of our life, who would listen to anything that we would want to say in any manner. So I went through turbulent times in my life, and that is where I started telling Swami every single day, listening to bhajans constantly, chanting Vedas constantly, and somewhere I feel that calmed me down in a lot of ways. And when we do Namasmarana, it starts giving us a perspective in life. Chanting the name of the Lord keeps us in a very healed and a positive way. Something effective in lockdown, which also helped me heal. And as I said, I, as a child, used to sit and pretend to be Balvikas, and I would start reciting shlokas. I actually did it for real. So last year, I decided to take Balvikas classes for children here in Bangalore, taking ahead Swami's vision. I would really say, I would find Swami's indication everywhere. When I moved in to an apartment here 3 years ago, I had owner of the house is a devotee of Swami himself. I got to know just about 1.5 years ago, and I didn't have the slightest idea that my owner would become the basis of me to start Balvikas classes. So he got me in touch with two teachers, two Balvikas gurus here, and they were waiting. They were waiting to start off with the virtual classes, and felt like Swami was really. As a part of lockdown, since we were all caught up in our houses, I decided to take Balvikas classes for students. And there's one thing that I realized: as we grow up, we think we are becoming absolutely mature and we are great at discrimination and taking decisions. But children, I realized that they are so much more creative, they are so much more thoughtful, and their mind horizons are so wide. And I felt like every class I would take, I would remember how Maya auntie would train us into things. I would remember how Shilpanti would conduct our meditation classes, and I would exactly try and replicate the same way. And somewhere I feel Swami brought me back to him in the form of Balvikas classes, because I started connecting with him. The connection that I felt was going away at some point, distracted. I think Swami brought me back in track. Have such experiences in our life where we lose track of things and Swami just pulls us back. All that we need to do is give away ourselves to him. Another thing that I would like to talk about is, we all having Swami's dreams, or sometimes we getting some visions of Swami. There were a lot of situations where I feel Swami has come in my dream and guided me through some very, very difficult situations, I would say, whether it was in Anantapur or whether it was here. And I really feel blessed that somewhere my parents have, from the beginning, inculcated those values in us, where we would constantly believe in God, we would trust in a higher source, and somewhere really kept me connected to Swami as I got his visions, as I got his dreams, and when I heard other people. So, there are these situations, I am not sure if you all have come across. I definitely have. There are times when somebody suddenly walks up to you and tells you about a certain incident. That incident gives you an answer to something that you were really looking forward to. This is something that used to happen to all of us in Anantapur a lot of times. As a student, I would crib about the process, about the strictness in the place. But I feel when I would listen to the teachers over there, when I would listen to the students talk about their experiences, I would feel so elated. I still remember there was an auditorium where we would have our daily prayers, and there was a huge tree right in front of the auditorium, and I had a very favorite teacher who would tell us beautiful incidents about Swami, who would share wonderful experiences that she had as a student and as a teacher. So there were a lot of times when I would see her sitting over there, and it was an inspiration. And I would go ask her, I would ask her, what is it that makes her go sit there? What are the kind of thoughts that she looks forward to? I started doing the same thing. I would go sit there. It would kind of make me get into a lot of self-reflection mode. I think one of the beautiful things that as a youth, this purview is that we are people who were taught to have self-reflection. We were people who were taught to have our own self-realizations. And every day sitting there in front of the tree for 5 minutes, self-realizations, and I would say crushed my ego, like I said before, helped me get over my insecurities, because I would get some time to analyze the things that didn't go right. I would have not been in Anantapur, I would have not had this chance to do a lot of self-introspection about my life. Talking about self-introspection and this teacher, so I remember in this small story that my teacher told me, something that I would like to share with you all, something that may help you in your future. So there was a time we just had our classes going on, and suddenly ma'am mentioned about this beautiful. So she would say that every morning when she would come for classes, everybody has baggage, everybody has issues about something or the other. So she would say that what she believes is, when you feel you have some issues in your life, take a box, those issues inside the box, and just walk out of the place for a while. Do your daily chores, and then when you come back, open the box, and the situation won't look the same to you. So what happens in such situations is you start separating yourself from that situation. More often when we get angry, more often when we fight with people, or people fight with us, we start associating ourselves with that situation. But after talking to ma'am, after listening to her, what I really learned for the rest of my life is that it's important to situation from us. And talking about separating situation from us, when I was a child, uh, I lost my grandfather when I was 3 years old. And there were a lot of times when I would ask my parents, where is my grandfather? And my parents would very politely respond to me, telling, uh, Swami used to come from the ground floor where Swami used to take interviews and come out. So my parents would tell me that my grandfather is sitting inside with Swami, and he's having a happy time over there, and he would want to be there. And that is something that still plays in my head incident, and it is something so divinely put up. It inflicted that pain in me, and as I grew up, I started separating that situation from myself. The kind of pain that I would have otherwise experienced did not get through me. So that we all have a certain bonding with Swami. And like I said, for me, Swami is a friend, a true friend who has been there for me in my good, bad, and my worst, and a friend whom my parents gave me for the rest of my life, a friend who would guide me and guard me at all times. People in the materialistic world wouldn't approve. Other than that, I think I would like to sing a small bhajan, something that was my heart, something that I had a chance to sing multiple times in front of Swami. And here it goes. Prema Swarupini Janani Ma Namostute Sai Ma Namostute Sai Ma Prema Swarupini Janani Ma Jagadambe Kripa Kari Sai Ma Jagadambe Kripa Kari Sai Ma Mai Janani Sai Ma Manapalini Sai Ma Charana Namostute Sai Ma Charana Namostute Sai Ma Prema Swarupini. I'd like to give 5 more minutes to this, and by now I think each of you would have figured out that I never had a one-on-one conversation with Swami in a physical form. I never had the privilege of having Pad Namaskar or receiving a gold medal or sharing a letter with Swami. But I would say that I had an experience of my own. I would keep telling myself, I would reassure myself that I could not talk to him enough in his physical form. I've had his omnipresent form to make friendship with. I've had an omnipresent form, sing a bhajan, to whom I can talk to, with whom I can spend the rest of my life without any worry, without any bit of insecurity, without any bit of an ego. And to every place of Swami that I've visited, whether it was Haji, whether it was in Goa, whether it was Parthi, Kodaikanal, Vrindavan, I think it is always going to hold a special place for me because I feel every place has its own energy, and somewhere it connected me and brought me closer to Swami. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently, that we can all carry forward something out of this experience that I've shared with you all. Thanks a lot. Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Guru, Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba, and Sai Ram to all. First of all, I would like to thank and extend my gratitude to Swami for giving us this opportunity to listening to the experiences of our Goan youths. Next, I would like to thank Sister Smriti Shankar for sharing with us such wonderful experiences and our journey with Sai, and for so much of valuable advice. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our Goa State President, State Vice President, and all office bearers for always motivating and encouraging us. Also, I would like to thank our entire youth team for your support. Last but not the least, I would like to thank and say Sai Ram to all the devotees present in this online session. Thank you, one and all. One announcement. Next Sai Yuva Anubhuti session will be on Wednesday, 24th Feb by Veena Chauhan from Margaon Samiti. We will conclude our session with Shanti Mantra. Om Shanti 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 Samastalokaः Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaः Sukhino Bhavantu Samastalokaः Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba ki.
Jai